Hey guys, it's Perry here. Today I'm going to be doing a tier list on patch 25.09. On the new Ionian map, we're going to talk about all the junglers for you to climb from Iron up until Masters. Guys, I haven't done a tier list in a hot minute, and I'm going to switch up the style that I'm doing today. I normally have notes that I read off of, but today I'm literally going to freeball it and make the tier list live with you guys right now. If you guys want to catch me doing things like this, I stream pretty much everything, and yeah, let's dive right into this head first and see where things take us. So first things first, personally for me, if you want to climb from Iron to Masters and climb, as far as you possibly can, there's one champion that I'll always preach and I'll always recommend, and I will never ever not put this champion on the top. Amumu as a champion, guys, is probably the best champion in the game by far, for sure. This champion is just too OP overall. You have so much survivability, you have so much damage, you farm decently. Now, a lot of people don't quite understand Amumu's power, and they tend to feel too weak, or they tend to misplay around Amumu. I would say it's one simple reason, and it's because you're not optimizing your farm. At the end of the day, no matter what champion you're playing, aggressive jungler, farming jungler, defensive jungler, you need to farm. Some people play Amumu and they don't farm. You need to farm very efficiently, very effectively, and then you need to team fight well. Always put Amumu up there. That's how it works with Amumu. Real quick, guys, I want to give you my overall thoughts on the new patch. Because grubs are no longer spawning at 6 minutes and now spawn at 8 minutes, a lot of these champions that I'm going to be putting on the tier list are simply going to be power farm champions. Farming has just become a lot easier and a lot better overall, so you'll understand as you see the tier list develop why I'm putting some of these champions so high up there on the list. Anyway, guys, enjoy the video. Now, the next champion we have is going to be Brand, and I'm going to go in order from here. So Brand, I'm going to put him at a solid A. So Brand is pretty powerful overall, and the amount of damage you deal on Brand is insane. Now, if you're a really low rank player and you want to just throw out all your spells and literally just one-shot people, you can actually play Brand. The reason why Brand's not OP is because you can actually mechanically misplay really bad, and also you're really squishy. So we'll see, maybe Brand actually ends up being in B tier later on, but right now my initial instinct is Brand is really powerful. That brings us to the next champion, Bel'Veth, one of my most hated champions in the game. I absolutely despise the champion, but this champion's actually not that good. I would even argue that Bel'Veth might be in the C tier, but we're going to put Bel'Veth in the B tier. Now, the reason why I put Bel'Veth in the B tier is Bel'Veth is a stat-checking champion. Most of the stat-checking champions in lower tiers are going to be decently high ranking in general. You can think about it, like Bel'Veth will do a lot of damage and lots of survivability and literally just one-shot things. On top of that, good farming, good clearing, has a lot of dashes. Now, the downside to Bel'Veth is the amount of mechanical skill you need is so much higher than a lot of these other champions for the amount of reward you get from playing Briar. Sorry, from playing Bel'Veth. That brings me to the next champion, Briar, which I love to talk about. Briar. Briar is a champion that I would say is very powerful. Briar, like, even arguably can be S tier. The thing is, Briar is a one-trick champion. So the reason why this champion is so strong is, again, stat checking and how powerful you are in the 1v1 and just in general on the map. But you can't really pick a Briar and completely expect it to stomp games. You have to actually play a solid amount of Briar. You have to play a lot of Briar to actually understand the champion. Like, even for me, if I were to pick up a champion, I'd be fine. But I need a lot of games. I need like probably 3 to 4 times more than your average champion on this list. But still very powerful. Next champion here is going to be Diana. Now, Diana, I would say, is also A tier here. So Diana is a really powerful champion because of how fast you can farm. This champion is actually unbelievably strong in terms of your clear speed and the amount of damage you deal. And a lot of people don't itemize Diana correctly. I'm planning to make a really quick guide on Diana really soon, showcasing the different builds you can do on Diana. A lot of people just only build a tank build or only build the AP build. You can do multiple variations on this champion the same way you can do multiple variations on a champion like Volibear, on a champion like Poppy, on a champion like Kayn. There's a lot of different itemization you can go on this champion, and people are missing out by only building one build path. Dr. Mundo here is a fun champion, really broken. We're going to put him in the S tier. This champion is overall just one of the strongest stat checkers with the strongest amounts of clear speed, and tankiness, it sort of follows suit and why Amumu is so powerful. Now, the downside with Dr. Mundo is you need a lot of games. So here's the thing: you're gonna play Dr. Mundo for the first time, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, I feel really strong. I clear quickly. I farm well. That's great. That's awesome." But you're gonna find that you get one shots in a lot of different scenarios, and you don't realize it. You don't realize how much damage your champion actually takes, and you don't realize your limits on this champion. Once you know your limits on Dr. Mundo, you can become an absolute powerhouse and absolutely demolish, smash games really easily. Next champion here is going to be Ekko. Ekko, I'm going to have to say, is probably not a great champion. In general, even in higher elos, I will say this champion is just not that strong. Unless you're literally like the really good one trick mechanically. We're going to put Ekko in the solid D tier. Now, Ekko might, as we build this out, might be in the C tier. Honestly, we'll see. But in general, if you're playing Ekko in the lower ranks, I do not recommend playing this champion. You're just too weak. You do a lot of things okay, but you don't excel at anything. You're an assassin archetype, but you don't even excel at assassinating unless you get really, really fed. How are you going to get really, really fed? Do you have any early game pressure? Not really. So you don't really excel at something. Compare this to a champion like, I don't know, Kha'Zix or Rengar. In the early game, you're an assassin, and you can actually one-shot people and deal so much damage, and then snowball the game as an assassin. It's very hard to snowball the game as Ekko. If you get really fed, you get really lucky, you get a really good early game, okay, yeah, you're going to be really OP, you're going to be powerful. Don't get me wrong, you're an assassin still. Any assassin that's going to get a lot of kills in the early game will be powerful. But do that consistently, game after game after game, you will struggle doing that with Ekko. Next champion we have here is Elise. Elise is going to follow the same boat as Ekko, straight into the D tier. If you are anywhere from Iron to Diamond, getting to Masters, I do not recommend playing this champion. It's too difficult. Your early game is strong, you're a strong assassin, that's great, but what happens in the mid to late game? It is very hard to understand the details to Elise as to what you can do, how to end the game. How do you end the game? You get 10 kills, how do you end the game? You don't know how to end the game. You're really strong, how do we accelerate the game? It's very, very hard. You need to be at a higher level play to really optimize Elise, or you need to be a true Elise one trick that literally sees the game as Elise, like League of Legends equals Elise. And truth be told, this champion does a lot of damage and can accelerate really, really nicely and can feel really, really strong. But again, I'm talking 50, 100 games. You're grinding the shit out of League of Legends. Can you really optimize Elise and climb out of those ranks? I don't think so. Next champion we have here is going to be our good friend Evelynn. Now, Evelynn literally falls in the suit of Elise and Ekko, but we're actually going to put Evelynn in the C tier. So why is Evelynn the C tier? Well, what about Ekko? What about Elise? Here's the thing about Evelynn. Evelynn has some ridiculous scalings in terms of her abilities. And Evelynn will simply one-shot you no matter how weak she really is, as long as you're playing an okay game of Evelynn. Now, she's not powerful because she doesn't excel at just anything, really. Like, same thing with Ekko. But the damage ratios on this champion are just too insane to say she's the D-tier champion. Very, very hard in general, and only really good if you're one-trick. But overall, can be playable, at least. The amounts of damage you deal is insane, but really, really easy to punish. Next champion we have here is going to be our Fiddlesticks. Fiddlesticks is a very, very powerful champion. And if you want to climb, this champion is very underrated. This champion is going to either be A or B tier. And I'll really quickly, Fiddlesticks is always going to be OP. It breaks the game. There's one other champion in this tier list that breaks the game. You got to wait to see what champion I'm talking about. Fiddlesticks breaks the game. You have to literally change the way you play to deal with Fiddlesticks. Your clear is also fast, and overall this champion is just a bit overtuned always because of how you have to change the game. You guys can actually guess right now in the comments, like, what champion do you think I'm talking about that also completely breaks the game? There's actually probably 2 of them, maybe even 3. So if you get any of those champions, I'll congratulate you, but there are some champions that break the game. The next champion is going to be Gragas here, and I'm not going to talk about this champion too much. Gragas is a D-tier champion. He doesn't clear fast enough. He's not hard engaged. He's literally just like Ekko and Elise. Not OP enough at the moment. Okay. Next champion here is going to be Graves. And Graves is pretty strong in terms of, let's say you get items and you accelerate yourself. But it falls in the same category as Evelynn, Elise, and Ekko. And you can sort of see there's a trend. It's like, how easy is it to hard snowball, and then how easy is it to like actually close out games? And pretty much, I'm gonna put Graves in a solid C tier here. It just doesn't excel at everything. And right now, the thing is, Grubs is no longer respawning. So because Grubs is gone, first Grubs, you sort of have less to play for, less to invade for. Now, that doesn't mean you can invade the enemy champions pretty easily, but that also means that the enemy will be prepared to be invaded. So it really just depends. You can honestly see Graves as a counter champion as well, but that's where I put Graves. As for Gwen, Gwen's been nerfed time after time after time, but honestly, the champion is still quite overtuned. We're going to put Gwen in the A tier. Gwen might be in the B tier simply because of the difficulty on this champion, but it's still OP. Like, nothing will make this champion that hard nerfed unless they keep nerfing Gwen. Maybe for argument's sake, we're going to have a lot of A tier champions here at this rate. But for argument's sake, like, maybe she can just be in B tier. This champion is just broken, though. Like, it's just broken. Your clear is nice. The damage deal is really OP, and you're fighting with your W is insane. The only downside of Gwen is your early game, you can really get punished if you make a lot of mistakes. Next champ we have here on the list is our boy Hecarim. And, okay, there's a lot of A tier champions, so bear with me here, guys. Hecarim is solo queue powerhouse, farm well, gank well, team fight decently. So Hecarim excels at everything except for team fighting. Hecarim team fight's okay, but you really need to understand the champion, the depths of this champion. It's not like picking up Amumu for the first time and just Q flash R, and then 1 minute in the fight and win the game. Hecarim is really strong, but you need to know a lot more about the game. Now, this champion is arguably an S tier champion, but because this is targeting some lower ranked players, you need to understand that, like, you can't just pick up Hecarim and absolutely 1v9 stomp the game. Solid champion, though, for sure. Next champion we have here is going to be Ivern. Now, Ivern is very similar to a champion like Briar, where if you one-trick the shit out of this champion is even, like, Z tier. Same thing with Briar. Briar can be Z tier as well. But the general player base, Briar's in A tier. We don't have a Z tier right now. We don't have, like, a one-trick tier. We're going to put Ivern in the B tier. If you pick up the champion, you will understand the strength of this champion. The learning curve is intense, though, and you need to play a lot of this champion. Daisy's really OP. The way you clear camps is really OP. The fact that there's no grubs now actually immensely helps Ivern, because Ivern struggled big time with grubs. You literally couldn't do the grubs as Ivern. So you lose out on an entire objective for absolutely no fucking reason. You just completely lose an objective. And now, that doesn't exist. So you have more time to impact the lanes. As for our next champion, we have Jarvan, the king. He really loves to defend his king. This champion is good if you're really good. Like, for me, guys, I hit rank 2 on Jarvan, and that's because I really understood the champion, the ins and outs. I also played it when there was a Gore Drinker. Gore Drinker was broken in the game. Now there's no more Gore Drinker, so the champion is not as broken. And for the general and average player base, the champion's really hard to play. I'm actually going to throw Jarvan in the C tier. Now, I honestly, I've made tier lists differently in the past, and honestly, Jarvan is one of those champions that I've normally thrown higher up in the list. I'm gonna be honest, guys, this champion, not that easy. It doesn't really farm well, like, doesn't really teamfight too easily. It's very hard to optimize this champion. Now, if you really play Jarvan a lot, you can absolutely 1v9 and stomp and crush. But in general, difficult champion. Okay. Here's the thing. I'm gonna add a disclaimer. Maybe my editor can. I'm gonna like timestamp this, because I'm gonna add like a disclaimer at the start. Tier list timestamp. I'm gonna disclaimer at the start saying, guys, every champion played at the highest level is viable. This is just a general tier list for if you're throwing a decent amount of games. Real quick disclaimer, guys. Every single champion in the game... Actually, run it back. Next champion here is going to be Jax. Now, this champion honestly deserves its own tier, or its own little, like, thing. So I'm going to add a row below this shit. And I'm literally going to make a brand new thing for this guy. We're going to put this called the counters. Now, Jax is really strong as a counter into some champions. You can't really blind Jax and be too excited that you're playing Jax in the jungle. We're going to throw him in here. Let's say they pick Kindred. Let's say they pick Master Yi. Let's say they pick Viego even. You're on Jax and you're fucking smiling. Let's say they're playing Graves as well. You're really happy as a counter pick champion. Next champion we have here is going to be our good friend Karthus. Now, Karthus is literally identical to Bran, except for the fact that you can't really run into fights and turn off your brain entirely. You have to land your Qs, and because AP items are being changed, and in general, Karthus just lost a lot of damage, I'm going to put Karthus in the solid B tier. It's pretty much just a lower version, like a worse version of Bran, except if you optimize Karthus to the absolute, like, perfection, this champion is really, really, really broken. If you land all your Qs, champion becomes OP. In general, though, you're gonna miss literally all of your Qs. Personally, when I play this champion, I miss all my Qs. I'll be honest, I miss all my Qs on this champion. Next, we have my good friend Kayn. Kayn. I love this champion. Guys, you don't know, I was literally rank 1 Kayn world. When I hit Challenger for the first time, I played Kayn. I love this champion. This champion is really good for smurfing. But you guys really need to understand how to smurf, how to get kills, and big key thing, how to mechanically play this champion. Personally, I'd always put Kayn in the S tier. But I'm going to put Kayn in A tier for argument's sake, because champion's not that easy. You need to learn the mechanics behind this champion. Did you guys know you can auto attack and then Q immediately, and you can cancel your auto attack animation if you perfectly use auto Q? Did you know that you can actually play Shadow Kayn and E through the Nexus, the Nexus turrets, and the inhib, and get an insane amount of distance? You've seen my Kayn gameplay, you've probably seen me do this. If you don't know what I'm talking about, well, guys, maybe you should study on what you can do with this champion. It's really OP. You can build multiple styles of Kayn. You go Shadow Kayn or you go Red Kayn, so you have a lot of versatility. In general, though, you really like Kayn if you can build the Shadow form. Personally, I've really always gone Shadow form 90% of the time. I love this champion. I think it's one of the strongest champions overall and always will be. Going through walls is just not balanced. Next champion we have here is going to be Kha'Zix. And Kha'Zix is OP, but honestly, not really, because of the difficulty of an understanding of how to assassinate and how to close out games. I'm going to put Kha'Zix in solid B tier here. Better assassin than an Ekko, for sure. Better assassin than Evelynn. Better assassin in general, but definitely not so broken to the point where you can just run over games consistent. Next, we have Kindred. Oh, Kindred. So Kindred is normally a champion I put in S or A tier. After reconsidering this champion and just in general, seeing a lot of low-ranked players play this champion, I'm going to put Kindred in the B tier. Kindred has it all, but at the same time, the difficulty of this champion is up there. It's really up there. So we're going to put Kindred in solid B tier. As I said, guys, it has everything. Ult for survivability, dashes, damage, good clear speed, good scaling, everything that you ask for in this champion. Next champion we have here is going to be Lee Sin. Now, Lee Sin is a champion I don't recommend anyone play. One of the highest play rates overall, consistently, always. But get Lee Sin out of here. Lee Sin is completely in the D tier. We don't care about Lee Sin. Guys, this champion is so hard. Like, it's so hard. It might be satisfying, but it's very, very hard. I've never recommended Lee Sin once in my whole life. I've coached Lee Sin students, and I don't really see the success when they're on Lee Sin. It's just not that great of a champ. Alright, guys, let's talk Lillia here. Lillia is going to be our third S tier champion. If you want an OP champion to play Lillia. This champion is literally identical to Hecarim, except for the fact that your early game gank threat is not as high, but your mid-late game teamfight threat is significantly higher. Honestly, this champion is one of the champions that I'm like, dude, honestly, I want to play this champion again. I want to relearn Lillia and get better at this champion. You have it all. Good gank, decent gank because you get the 4 stacks. You have really good scaling, really good fast clear speed. Champion is really, really, really overtuned in general. I highly recommend, hey, pick up Lillia if you want. Next, we have our good friend Master Yi. Now, Master Yi is arguably one of the most annoying champions and one of the worst champions at the exact same time. Arguably. We're going to throw Master Yi in the solid B tier. Because, honestly, guys, I would put Master Yi in C or D tier if Cenarius didn't exist. I'm going to give a massive shout out to Cenarius for just being that Master Yi player for you. This champion is honestly not an easy champion, but because Cenarius is out there, I talk about Cenarius every single tier list. Because he's out there, you can learn a lot about this champion and optimize Master Yi to the next level by watching his video. watching his videos. But in general, honestly, champion's not too easy. Bro, I played Mastery for the first time. Not that easy, I will be honest. Next champion we have here, Maokai, D tier. Don't talk about it, don't talk about the champion. If you play champion jungle, you need to be banned, punished, and immediately kicked off the Rift. If your jungler picks Maokai in the jungle, and you're playing lane, you have the parry jungle right to absolutely run him down, sprint him, and don't give him a good time. Don't get caught by Riot Games, Leader Buster, or like the Int Buster, like that you will give him LP back. Otherwise, run him down, because if you play Maokai jungle, you need to be reported. Morgana jungle, if you play this champion, you're a little bit weird, I'll be honest. Weird champion. You're in the counter tier, honestly. Morgana can be really strong if they pick a champion like Vi. They pick a champion like even Lillia can be kind of OP. There's some champions you can be really strong against, like Mordekaiser as well. I'm just saying, you pick Morgana into Mordekaiser, like maybe you got a counter. But in general, honestly, I don't think Morgana is that great. It's just a counter champion. Next champion we have here is Nidalee. Nidalee is going straight to the D tier. Don't play the champion. Hard champion to play, just like Lee Sin. You might feel dopamine. Doesn't matter, it's not a great champion. Alright guys, next champion we have here is Nocturne. Nocturne is going to go straight to the S tier. Literally one of the most broken champions in the game. You can do literally everything with this champion. You just have so much survivability in the early game. You can farm, you can win 1v1s, and honestly, you're going to see a new Nocturne video coming out soon. You can do different variations. You can go full lethality, and you can also go bruiser on this champion. One of the most broken ultis in the game, just like Mordekaiser. All these champions have really broken ultis. But Nocturne's ult changes the game. So one of the champions that I was saying that completely changes the game was indeed Nocturne. So if you put Nocturne in the comments, you nailed it on the spot. Nocturne absolutely just changes the game entirely. The next champion we have here is going to be Nunu. Nunu is going to go straight to the A tier. And now this champion is actually one of the other champions that completely changes the game as well. So Nunu is one of those champions that can constantly gank every single lane, and on top of that, Nunu, literally, you can never outsmite Nunu. So if you're on a Baron, you're on a Dragon, you're on an Otacon, you cannot outsmite the Nunu. The Nunu will Q smite, and it is literally the game breaking to the new meta, because if you want to do Dragon from minute 5 to 8 before the grub spawn, you need to make sure Nunu cannot walk up and steal it from you. This champion right now, I think, is going to be really, really powerful. If you want to learn how to roll snowballs, there's Pentalus out there who's like really high rank right now. He streams, I believe. So seriously, genuinely, guys, champion's really, really good as long as you understand how to play around your laners. There will be some games where Nunu just doesn't have really good laners, and you just can't solo carry the game. Even if you go AP Nunu, you just can't solo carry. So you lack 1v9 capabilities as Nunu. Overall, just a really, really powerful game. Next champion we have here is Poppy. Poppy's going to go straight to A tier. I love Poppy right now. Poppy doesn't deserve S tier, but definitely deserves A tier. Honestly, even a good counter pick as well. But Poppy, you have multiple build variations. Now, I've highlighted the Halo Blades, Umbral Glaive into Iceborne Poppy build, but I haven't highlighted Black Cleaver or Sundered Sky. There's a lot of different builds on this champion. It's a lot of versatility. If you learn this champion, you have a lot of options. Honestly, quite an OP champion. You can do a lot. The problem, again, is you lack 1v9 capabilities. You can't just completely 1v9 the game. And the reason why is you can't 1v9 teamfights as this champion unless you're really good and you ult people out. Compare these two champions to a champion like Amumu. Amumu 1v9 capability is actually insane because you can completely change the trajectory of a teamfight with your ulti. Absolutely by yourself, just completely change the trajectory of a teamfight. Now, guys, we have Rammus. Rammus is going to go straight to the counter tier. I think it makes sense if they have 580 champions, pick Rammus. Otherwise, don't touch this champion. It's that straightforward. They pick Master Yi, pick Rammus. They pick Viego, pick Rammus. So you're going to be happy against those champions as Rammus. Otherwise, you won't be happy in general. Now, as for Rek'Sai, Rek'Sai is going to be a pretty decently strong champion. But, again, you sort of follow the suit of Ekko, where you're good at everything at an okay pace, but you're also bad at everything. You're just an okay champion overall. Mediocre champion. You don't want to be on team fights. You're okay overall. I'm going to throw Rek'Sai in the C tier here. You're pretty much strong, but you're also like pretty weak. That's pretty much it. That's like C tier in general, C, D tier in general. The next champion we have is going to be Rengar. Rengar is literally going to be identical as Kha'Zix. We're going to toss Rengar in the B tier. Literally, these assassins are just better than other assassins at the moment, and overall has a lot of carry potential. The amount of damage you deal is really insane. I will argue that Rengar is generally harder than Evelynn. So honestly, you know, I'm reconsidering. I'm reconsidering, guys. If you play Rengar, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to say Rengar honestly is a C tier champion. I'm thinking about it in my head. Okay, if I were to try to be like a gold player and I'm gonna try to play champion, I want to pick between Rengar, Evelynn, and Kha'Zix. Which one do I really want to play? Kha'Zix is actually way easier than both Rengar and Evelynn. And here's a big reason why. If you don't know, you can also go Bruiser build on Kha'Zix. So a lot of adaptability on the champions that are B, A, and S tier. There's a lot of adaptability. But Rengar is still really, really powerful if you learn the champion over a period of time. Rengar can still be really strong. Next champion we have here is Sejuani. I'm not going to talk about champion in the D tier. If you want to talk about Sejuani, please do not talk about Sejuani in my presence. If you play Sejuani in solo queue and you play jungle, please consider not playing League of Legends. Alright, then we have Shaco here. So Shaco, I hate this champion. Love-hate relationship. Shaco's really annoying. I'm going to put Shaco in the C tier. Now, Shaco has a bit of adaptability. You can go full AP, you can go full AD. But honestly, this champion does not excel at team fighting. So Shaco's really annoying. And you can make them FF really early on. That's literally all you can do. If you don't make them FF, you're kind of a shitter. You're kind of like working backwards. Like picture your full AP Shaco and you have 8 kills. The fuck do you end the game? Okay, picture your 8 kill Lillia. Oh shoot, bro. Yo, my bad, bro. That's just sort of how it works. Shaco is just like you just can't really end the game as this champion. Now, Shyvana, my prized possession Shyvana for a while. Shyvana is a very, 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 very underrated champion. I'm going to toss Shyvana into the A tier. Now, as you get to higher ranks, Shyvana gets a lot more difficult. I honestly need to re-highlight how powerful Shyvana is. Shyvana can unironically be in the S tier right now, but because I don't have content on her, and I need to do some more playtesting myself, I'm going to put her in A tier. Shyvana avoided a lot of nerfs. Now, if you look at the tier list, not the tier list, you look at the patch history, Shyvana's been nerfed like 3 times consecutively, but these nerfs actually missed Shyvana every single time. Miss Shyvana. Not a good nerfs. So this champion, I will make some videos, I will show you guys, is also an LP potion. Next champion we have here is going to be Sylas. Sylas is going to throw right into the D tier. You don't excel at literally anything, just fighting, but why play Sylas when you can play another OP champion? Maybe if they have fucking, I don't know, Alistar support, Malphite top lane, and fucking Maokai mid lane, all the good ultis. Okay, you can pick Sylas, otherwise, don't touch this champion. Next we have here is Skarner. Now, Skarner, unlike Shyvana, has properly been hit by the nerfs. We're gonna throw Skarner in the B tier. Now, this champion is just like way better than Maokai and Sejuani. Please, if you want to pick a tank, pick Skarner. Please, okay? This champion's pretty strong. As you guys have seen over the course of the history, Skarner's been like S+ tier, S tier for a long time. They hit Skarner where he hurts. Back in the B tier now, but still really, really strong champion. Next champion we have here is going to be Taliyah. So Taliyah is a good champion if you can play mechanically near perfect. And because of this reason, we're going to throw it in the C tier. Now, Taliyah is really good as a counter champion as well. So C tier and a counter tier. If you play against Lee Sin, even Lee Sin's kind of hard. You play against, I don't even know, man. Like, it's kind of hard. You can counter some people with rocks. If you play against like Irelia or something, a Riven, and you have like multiple dash champions, Taliyah gets a lot of value, but otherwise, hard champion unless you're a master at it. If you're an absolute master of this champion, sure, you can put it in S tier even. But again, general player base, not going to master the champion. Next champion we have here is going to be Talon. After playing against 2 of the best Talons in Korea, guys, this champion is broken. I would put Talon in the C tier. I've normally put Talon in D tier. I swear, if you want to go and go to the hyperbolic time chamber and learn 2 years of Talon and just grind, this champion is insanely broken. It'll take a good amount of time to really understand how broken this champion is. The skill curve is like insane. Like, you need to learn so much. But this champion is actually OP as hell. I'm gonna be honest, champion's actually OP as hell. Next champion we have here is little man Teemo. So in the previous world, a few months ago, Teemo was S tier. Now Teemo's D tier for the one simple reason, and the fact is, look at all the S tier champions, look at all the A tier champions. Which one of those champions excels at auto attacking? Legit none. Legit none of them. On top of that, Teemo just overall, just like honestly got nerfed. Like, he got nerfed, and like we rode the high on the E buff, and now got set down to bits of hell. Next champion we have here is Mr. Trundle. Mr. Trundle, our good friend Trundle, is going to go to the A tier. Honestly, like, some of you guys are going to think I'm rage baiting, some of you guys think I'm like trolling. This champion is OP. I'm going to make a video on Trundle soon. I'll show you guys. Your clear efficiency is really high. A lot of the champions that people are playing are tanky champions with low elo. Trundle crushes them. You're the troll king. You're not just a troll, you're a troll king. I'll show you guys some Trundle coming up soon. The one thing that Trundle does not excel at is dealing with ranged champions. So, honestly, you can't blind Trundle necessarily. But honestly, Trundle is really, really, really strong if you can get maybe second, third pick, or you can see some of their champions. Alright, next champion we have here is Mr. Udyr. So Mr. Udyr is a champion that honestly deserves S tier, but I'm going to put in A tier simply because of the difficulty behind Udyr. This champion can do it all, but also can lack in terms of, like, if you don't have a team, kind of struggle a lot. You can't solo hard 1v9 games. It's sort of the category of all these A champions where it's like, you're really powerful and you can snowball, you can 1v9, but you simply need more of a team than normal. Next champion we have here is Viego, my favorite champion in the game. Guys, I have something to say. Viego is not S tier. Viego is not A tier. Viego is B tier. I will be honest. I played Viego in Korea. Okay, I'll say I played Viego in Korea. And I played Viego in Challenger Korea. And I love the champion. Champion's great. But honestly, I'd much rather play something else a bit more powerful. If you pick Viego with frontline champion that's going to engage and some DPS, you will absolutely win the game. But if you pick Viego and then you get a Sona and then you get a bruiser top lane with no CC, and then like a completely useless mid laner, you'll lose the game. You'll be absolutely useless. Like, picture you have Lux mid and like a Darius top lane, and you're playing Viego with Sona. You're gonna lose the game. I'm sorry, your champion's gonna feel absolutely useless. But if you get a good composition, Viego goes back to Z tier. So this champion is literally just like the most like solid champion overall. Always will be good. But as the game develops more, I just feel like people don't want to play around Viego as much as people did before. I don't know why. People literally like don't want to draft for the champion, and I experienced that a lot in Korea. And honestly, I would imagine in lower elos it's going to be worse. Another big reason why the champion is B tier right now, a lot of people just are not itemizing Viego correctly. There are two builds to Viego. There's the bruiser build and there's the crit build. And people are building the crit build wrong, and they're not utilizing the bruiser build. So because of that, Viego's even worse. If you are a really good Viego player, you'll understand that there's two variations to Viego. You can go the bruiser build, Sundered Sky, Triforce. You can even go Sundered Sky into full tank, Sterex, Death Dance. You could also do like a hybrid and go like Trinity Force, Sundered Sky into some LDR type of item. And the crit build as well, you need to stop buying Collector. Collector is absolutely useless item. So people just itemizing this champion wrong. If that weren't the case, I'd honestly think the win rate would be higher and the champion would be higher rank as well. But because of that, I'm putting Viego in the B tier. Now, next champion we have here is Vi. So Vi in general is an S tier champion for top 10 players and the best players in the world and really high elo challenger. But for your average low elo game, we're putting Vi in C tier. So Vi is strong, good, but same thing as Jarvan. Like, you need to honestly optimize a lot on this champion. And it's just not worth doing that. Like, honestly, play an easier champion, guys. That's sort of how this tier list works, right? Play the champions that are above because they're simply easier and they'll simply do more for you. The next champion we have here is the Storm. Volibear, okay? I've been spamming Volibear. I hit rank 33 in Korea playing Volibear. I hit rank 20 on NA before I left on Volibear. I love this champion. I love Volibear so much right now. Volibear's gonna go S. And you know what? We're gonna move. We're gonna kick him out. Volibear is my S tier, my prize position champion. Here's the thing about Volibear, though. You need to itemize the champion correctly. There's an itemization guide out there by Aribo/Arctheos. I'm going to create my own, honestly, itemization guide on Volibear. This champion is really broken, but you need to itemize correctly, and you need to make sure you're using your spells correctly. This champion honestly goes from S tier to D tier if you use your spells poorly. Your Q, you need to understand your limits. Your E, you need to understand your limits. Are you using it for damage? Are you using it for the shield? Are you going to collect the shield? Is your Q use? Are you going to make it in time with your Q? There's a lot of different stuff you need to learn about Volibear. Next champion we have here is Warwick here. So Warwick, guys, is going to go straight to the A tier. So here's Warwick in general, guys. You're just a really OP stat checker like Briar. But the thing that makes Warwick a bit better now, more than before, is you don't have to suffer on grubs. So grubs that spawns at 6 minutes is kind of annoying to deal with, because you can't really do them too easily on Warwick, and on top of that, you just have more to play for. But now that grubs are gone, you can literally run it on the map like a lunatic, and you just are able to impact the map way more without getting punished by the enemy getting objectives. Next champion we have here is going to be Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao is going to also go straight into the A tier champion, simply because he's stat checker and he does the literal exact same thing as Warwick. But difference is like the team fighting from Xin Zhao is better than Warwick. So because Xin Zhao is better team fighter, he's still going to be A. Maybe he's not good at stat checking, but he still can outperform in team fights. So we'll go over there. Alright, the next champion we have here is Zac. Now, I played against a bunch of Zac in Korea. They're the best Zac player in probably the world, actually. And he really showed me how broken this champion is. If you want an LP Potion champion, Zac also exists to be there. So we'll throw Zac in the A tier. Champion is really good. If you honestly learn how to min-max your fighting, this champion is simply all about one-tricking and perfecting the champion, just like Ivern. It's really annoying. Really, really broken. Next champion we have here is Zed. Zed's going to go straight to the D tier. Not a great champion. Honestly, very, very hard to play. Way harder than Talon. Can be C tier, but why play Zed when you can play a champion like Kha'Zix that actually deserves to be in the jungle and also has better team fight? Next champion we have here is Zyra. So Zyra is going to go straight to the C tier. And Zyra, although one of the fastest clear speed, I believe, in the game, Zyra's fighting is so difficult for your average player to understand. Not only that, Zyra's the way you can punish Zyra is simply you can punish yourself. Here's what I'm trying to say. Zyra is great at clearing quickly, but it doesn't matter if you don't return to your camp respawns. Not many people even know when your camp respawns. Like, pop quiz here. When does your camp respawn? Like, how long does it take? 3 minutes? 2 minutes? 1 minute? How many seconds? And how long does it take to recall? How long does it take to walk to your first camp? You need to be on your camp respawn to optimize how OP Zyra is. A lot of people don't know these timers. Next champion we're going to have here is Wukong. Wukong is going straight to the B tier. Wukong is really solid, really good, but doesn't really excel and doesn't really suck. His clear speed is okay. His team fighting is okay. You need to play Wukong very, very well mechanically, but at the same time, like, you don't, because you're sort of overtuned in terms of stats. But if you want to purely stat check people, you can play Warwick or Briar. Honestly, Xin Zhao sort of feels like a better version of Wukong, so Wukong's going to go over here. Next champion we have here is Pantheon. Pantheon's going to follow suit with Viego and Wukong, where it's like, these champions are really good if you have good drafts, you have good champs to play with them, and honestly, they can become immediately S tier, Z tier. I can honestly make a video on just that alone, drafting. But otherwise, if you want to blind a champion, Pantheon normally isn't too happy to blind. So that's my thoughts on Pantheon. Next champion we have here is Yorick. Now, Yorick remains to be one of the highest win rate champions, and honestly, I just don't know. I haven't played a game of Yorick, and I haven't, like, played against the Yorick, like, literally ever. So I genuinely don't know where Yorick belongs, because the win rate's high, but my intuition is like, bro, this champion is pretty dog shit. Maybe if you pick Yorick, like, later on in the draft, it can be really good, because I genuinely don't know. I can't answer. I'm literally going to leave Yorick there. Darius here. Darius, we're going to bring him to the D tier. Darius, if you're one trick, can be really good, but right now, Darius is just not in a great space because you're not overtuned anymore. They nerfed Darius down too many times to where Darius no longer overtuned. So we'll leave Darius there. If you're a Darius OTP, you're playing top lane, you come to the jungle, yeah, you'll still be just as good. Not because Darius is good in the jungle, but because you're good on Darius. That's how this champion works. Let's go for Naafiri here. Naafiri is going to go straight to the A tier. Nerf time after time again, but it doesn't actually affect the champion too much. Naafiri is still very, very, very broken. A very strong champion. The one thing about Naafiri now, though, I mean, the one thing about Naafiri always has just been mechanically how well you can play the champion, but still really, really OP. Next, we have Shen. Shen's going to go to the D tier. Not a good jungler in general. Don't play Shen jungle. I don't even know why he's on the list. I'll be honest. Don't play Shen. Olaf jungle is a unique champion and unironically can be an A or B tier. Literally look at all the S tier champions. Olaf has good positions against the S tier champions, along with the A tier champions for that matter. But honestly, Olaf is just like a counter. Like, we're not going to put him up here or A or B or C. Like, honestly, he's just a counter. He's a really good counter champion. Rumble, we're going to go Rumble straight into D tier. Rumble is just like unless you're Rumble OTP, you're not going to 1v on Rumble because the champion is actually okay in the jungle. But if you don't know the champion, you're going to suck. You can't pick up the champion nice and easily. Alright guys, that's going to be my tier list for patch 25.09. Now, I know a lot of you guys might have like a lot of questions. I'd be like, really? Is this champion really deserve to be here? You can ask in the comments. You can talk to me. You can send me a message. I will do my best to get to everything that I can. This is my first time doing a tier list like this, doing it live, so maybe I'll look back and I'll be like, I disagree with this. I could have changed this here. Listen, guys, I'm basing a lot of my knowledge off of challenger level games, so I'm doing my best to jump down into iron to diamond games to give you guys the best advice possible. This is truly the easiest champions that I think you can play and get LP at the same time. It's not to say that some champs are that easy, but genuinely, this is what I believe. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Real quick, guys, I want to give you my overall thoughts on the new patch. Because grubs are no longer spawning at 6 minutes and now spawn at 8 minutes, a lot of these champions that I'm going to be putting on the tier list are simply going to be power farm champions. Farming has just become a lot easier and a lot better overall, so you'll understand as you see the tier list develop why I'm putting some of these champions so high up there on the list. Anyway, guys, enjoy the video.